Welcome to Money Blueprint, where we talk about real money for real people going through real struggles. Subscribe because I share real strategies every single day. What followed that moment was 10 of the longest, hardest, most painful years of my life. 10 years of financial survival mode. 10 years of mounting credit card debt just to pay basic bills and put food on the table. Not luxury spending, not frivolous purchases, just groceries, just electricity, just keeping a roof over my wife and child's head. Every month, the credit card balance climbed a little higher. Every month, the interest charges ate a little more of what little I had. The shame of swiping a credit card to buy groceries when you are a grown adult who worked hard their entire life is something I would not wish on anyone. It was a nightmare. A 10-year nightmare that aged me in ways I cannot fully describe. But I found a way out. And here is exactly what I did. Step number 1. I got completely honest about my situation. I sat down one night and wrote down every single debt, every bill, every financial obligation with complete brutal honesty. The number I saw on that paper was terrifying. But you cannot fix what you refuse to look at. That one night of complete financial honesty was the foundation. Everything else was built on. Most people stay broke their entire lives, not because they cannot earn enough, but because they never get truly honest about where they actually stand. Step number 2. I accepted the injustice and took complete ownership. What happened to me was genuinely unjust. Being forced out of my job with no reason given in a right-to-work state with a wife and baby at home, I did nothing wrong. The system failed me, and the only person who was going to rebuild my financial life was me. Both of those things were true at the same time. Justice does not always come. Fairness is not guaranteed. But your response to what life does to you, that is always yours to control. The moment I stopped waiting for the situation to be fair and started focusing on what I could do right now, the direction of my life changed completely. Step number 3. I educated myself about money for the first time. During those 10 years and the years that followed, I became obsessed with understanding money. I read every personal finance book I could find. I learned about debt elimination, compound interest, index fund investing, and building multiple income streams. And here is what shocked me. The information was never hidden. It was always available to anyone willing to seek it out. Growing up in New York, nobody in my neighborhood talked about investing or building wealth. That knowledge gap cost me dearly when life knocked me down and I had no financial foundation to fall back on. Step number 4. I attacked my debt systematically once my income stabilized. I listed every debt from highest interest rate to lowest. Every extra dollar went toward the most expensive debt first while paying minimums on everything else. It was slow and painful at first. Watching balances drop by small amounts after years of watching them climb felt almost insignificant. But direction matters more than speed. The credit card debt that had accumulated over 10 years of survival, debt I had carried with shame and fear, began to shrink. Slowly at first. Then faster still. Each balance I eliminated felt like removing a physical weight from my chest. Step number 5. I started investing even when the amounts felt embarrassingly small. For years, I told myself I would start investing when I had more money, when things were more stable. That thinking kept me on the sidelines for a decade. I finally understood that waiting for the perfect moment means waiting forever. I started with whatever I could, sometimes $50, sometimes $25, in low-cost index funds. Not because the amounts were life-changing immediately, but because the habit needed to be built. And compound interest does not wait for you to feel ready. Every dollar I invested felt like a declaration that I was no longer just surviving. I was building. Step number 6. I built multiple income streams so I would never be this vulnerable again. A single income from a single employer had already proven devastating when it disappeared without warning. I was never putting my family in that position again. I started building additional income streams alongside my career. Online content creation, affiliate marketing, digital products, AI-powered businesses. Some took months to gain traction. Some worked faster than expected. But each new stream made the whole picture stronger and less dependent on any single source. The lesson of what happened to me in Florida, the complete vulnerability of depending on one employer with no protection and a family at home, became the greatest motivator I ever had to build something that could never be taken away with one conversation in a boss's office. Step number 7. I refuse to let 10 years of struggle define the next 10 years. From my late 30s to my late 40s, I was in recovery mode. A decade that should have been prime wealth-building years was spent climbing out of a hole dug by circumstances outside my control. I could have let that define me. I could have said it was too late, that I had missed my window. Instead, I made a decision that the next decade was going to look completely different, that every lesson from those 10 hard years was going to become fuel for everything ahead. I am now building something I am genuinely excited about. Multiple income streams, a real financial future for my wife and my child, the same child who was 1.5 years old when everything fell apart, who is now watching their parent build something real and meaningful from nothing. That is the story I want them to see. Not a parent who was knocked down, but a parent who got back up and refused to stop. If you have been knocked down financially, by a job loss, a divorce, a medical crisis, or any unjust situation life threw at you, hear this from someone who lived through exactly this. Your recovery is possible. Your timeline might be longer than you planned. The road might be harder than it should be. But the destination is still reachable, and every single step toward it matters more than you know. Subscribe to Money Blueprint and come back every single day. Tell me in the comments, what knocked you down financially, and what are you doing to get back up? I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Everything I used in my own recovery is linked in the description below. Your comeback starts right now.